You're listening to the Cyberwire Network, powered by N2K.
Cyber threats are evolving every second, and staying ahead is more than just a challenge, it's a necessity. That's why we're thrilled to partner with ThreatLocker, the cybersecurity solution trusted by businesses worldwide. ThreatLocker is a full suite of solutions designed to give you total control, stopping unauthorized applications, securing sensitive data, and ensuring your organization runs smoothly and securely. Visit threatlocker.com today to see how a default deny approach can keep your company safe and compliant. A hacker claims to have stolen internal documents from a major French telecommunications company. A security breach hits Russia's financial sector. Cyberattacks targeting ICS and OT surged dramatically last year. Chinese group Silver Fox is spoofing medical software. The UK's Home Office's new vulnerability reporting policy risks prosecuting ethical hackers. Ransomware actors are shifting away from encryption. A sophisticated macOS malware campaign is distributing Poseidon Stealer. The LightSpy surveillance framework evolves into a cross-platform espionage tool. A Chinese botnet is targeting Microsoft 365 accounts using password spraying attacks. Our guest today is Lauren Buitta, founder and CEO at Girls Security, discussing mentoring and intergenerational strategies. And there may be a backdoor in your front door. It's Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your Cyberwire Intel Briefing. Thanks for joining us here once again today. It is great, as always, to have you with us. A hacker going by the name Ray claims to have stolen 6.5 gigabytes of internal documents from Orange Group, a major French telecommunications company and digital services provider, primarily affecting its Romanian branch. The breach exposed 380,000 unique email addresses, customer and employee data, invoices, contracts, and partial payment card details. Ray, a member of the Hellcat ransomware group, says they accessed Orange's systems for over a month using compromised credentials and vulnerabilities in Jira software. After exfiltrating data for 3 hours undetected, they attempted to extort Orange but were ignored. Orange confirmed the breach affected a non-critical back-office application, stating that customer operations were unaffected. The company is investigating and working with authorities. Ray denies that this was a Hellcat operation, though the group has previously targeted Schneider Electric and Telefonica. Russia's National Coordination Center for Computer Incidents has warned the country's financial sector about a security breach at Lanet, a major IT service provider. Lanet, Russia's largest system integrator, serves key government agencies, including the Ministry of Defense and military-industrial complex firms like Rostec. The attack, which occurred on February 21st, affected 2 subsidiaries, both specializing in banking technology, ATMs, and payment systems. The breach could have serious implications for Russia's banking infrastructure. Authorities have not disclosed the attack's origin, method, or impact, but the incident suggests a potential supply chain compromise rather than a typical DDoS attack on banks. Cyber attacks targeting industrial control systems and operational technology surged dramatically by 87% in 2024, according to cybersecurity firm Dragos. Ransomware attacks on industrial infrastructure also increased by 60%, reflecting heightened geopolitical tensions involving conflicts like Russia-Ukraine and China-Taiwan. Experts warn that state-sponsored groups such as China's Volt Typhoon are infiltrating critical infrastructure, preparing potential future disruptions. Volt Typhoon has notably identified strategic U.S. targets, including power substations critical for military deployments. Alarmingly, non-state cybercriminals are gaining ICS expertise through collaboration with state actors, broadening attack capabilities and risks to critical infrastructure. The shift threatens more frequent, indiscriminate attacks as cybercriminal groups increasingly target industrial systems for financial or disruptive objectives. A Chinese government-backed hacking group, Silver Fox, is spoofing medical software to infect hospital patients' computers with backdoors, keyloggers, and crypto miners, according to Forescout's Videri Labs. The malware mimics Philips DICOM image viewers and other healthcare applications, tricking victims into installing ValleyRat, a remote access tool. The attack uses PowerShell commands to evade detection and downloads encrypted payloads from Alibaba Cloud. While targeting individuals, the malware could spread into hospital networks through infected patient devices, posing a major cybersecurity risk to healthcare organizations. The UK Home Office's new vulnerability reporting policy risks prosecuting ethical hackers, even if they follow its guidelines, due to the Computer Misuse Act of 1990. Unlike the Ministry of Defense, which assures researchers they won't face prosecution, the Home Office offers no such protections, leaving them vulnerable to legal action. The Cyber Up campaign warns that the outdated CMA criminalizes all unauthorized access, discouraging responsible disclosure. While other countries have modernized laws to protect researchers, critics worry the UK's delay is harming cybersecurity resilience. Ransomware actors are shifting away from encryption, with 80% of attacks in 2024 focusing solely on data exfiltration, which is 34% faster, according to ReliaQuest's annual cyber threat report. Attackers achieve lateral movement in as little as 27 minutes, leaving defenders little time to respond. Service accounts were compromised in 85% of breaches, often due to poor security management. Insufficient logging was the top cause of breaches, while legitimate remote access tools were used in 2/3 of critical intrusions. ReliaQuest advises AI-driven security, better monitoring, VPN security, and rapid vulnerability patching. Automation is now essential, they say, as attackers move faster than ever. A sophisticated macOS malware campaign is distributing Poseidon Stealer via a fake DeepSeek AI website, according to cybersecurity researchers. The malware bypasses macOS Gatekeeper and harvests sensitive data, including browser credentials, cryptocurrency wallets, and system keychains. Attackers use malvertising to lure victims to a counterfeit site, delivering a malicious DMG file. Poseidon employs anti-analysis techniques and exfiltrates stolen data via curl post requests. Security experts recommend restricting OSA script execution, using next-generation antivirus, and educating users on terminal-based threats to mitigate the risk. Meanwhile, a privilege escalation vulnerability in Parallels Desktop remains unpatched, with 2 exploits publicly disclosed, allowing attackers to gain root access on Macs. Security researcher Mickey Jin bypassed Parallels' previous fix for a flaw stemming from missing code signature verification. Despite 7 months of warnings, Parallels has not addressed the issue, leaving all known versions vulnerable. Jin urges users to take proactive security measures as attackers could exploit this in the wild. The LightSpy surveillance framework has evolved into a cross-platform espionage tool, now supporting over 100 commands to infiltrate Android, iOS, Windows, macOS, Linux, and routers, according to new research. Originally targeting messaging apps, it now focuses on stealing Facebook and Instagram database files, exposing private messages, contacts, and metadata. LightSpy also uses malicious plugins for keystroke logging, screen capture, and USB monitoring. The framework's multi-OS reach and advanced evasion tactics pose a significant cyber espionage threat, requiring behavior-based detection strategies for effective defense. A Chinese botnet with over 130,000 compromised devices is targeting Microsoft 365 accounts using password spraying attacks that bypass multi-factor authentication, according to Security Scorecard. The botnet exploits non-interactive sign-ins, which often go unnoticed in security logs, allowing attackers to access emails, documents, and collaboration tools. The campaign, linked to Chinese infrastructure, poses a major threat to financial, healthcare, government, and tech sectors. Attackers also risk business disruption by triggering account lockouts. Security teams should monitor non-interactive sign-in logs to detect this evolving attack. CISA has added an Oracle Agile PLM flaw to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. The high-severity deserialization vulnerability, patched in January, allows low-privileged attackers to execute arbitrary code. While no public reports confirm active exploitation, experts believe attackers likely use it post-initial access. Oracle vulnerabilities, particularly web logic flaws, remain frequent attack targets. Coming up after the break, my conversation with Lauren Buitta from Girl Security. We're discussing mentoring and intergenerational strategies. And there may be a backdoor in your front door. Stay with us. We've all been there. You realize your business needs to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Well, it's easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post noticed. Indeed's sponsored jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. Your post jumps to the top of search results so the right candidates see it first. And it works. Sponsored jobs on Indeed get 45% more applications than non-sponsored ones. One of the things I love about Indeed is how fast it makes hiring. And yes, we do actually use Indeed for hiring here at N2K Cyberwire. Many of my colleagues here came to us through Indeed. Plus, with sponsored jobs, there are no subscriptions, no long-term contracts. You only pay for results. How fast is Indeed? Oh, in the minute or so that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners to this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/Cyberwire. Just go to Indeed.com/Cyberwire right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Cyberwire. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. Cyber threats are more sophisticated than ever. Passwords? They're outdated and can be cracked in a minute. Cyber criminals are intercepting SMS codes and bypassing authentication apps. While businesses invest in network security, they often overlook the front door, the login. Yubico believes the future is passwordless. YubiKeys offer unparalleled protection against phishing for individuals, SMBs, and enterprises. They deliver a fast, frictionless experience that users love. Yubico is offering N2K followers a limited buy one, get one offer. Visit yubico.com/N2K to unlock this deal. That's YUBICO. Say no to modern cyber threats. Upgrade your security today. Lauren Buitta is founder and CEO at Girl Security. I recently caught up with her for insights on mentoring and intergenerational strategies.
Girl Security is working to advance girls and young women in the national security sector through skills-based learning, mentorship, and professional advancement. Central to our mission is an emphasis on educating girls about how technology is applied within the national security context. And in addition to that work, we also create outcomes and products for the entire security sector that can uplift the entire community as well.
Well, can you give us some examples here?
So, for example, through an initiative that we launched about 2 years ago called the All Secure Alliance, which is a group of industry leaders, we've honed in on a number of gaps within the security sector, specifically around building an intergenerational workforce where we see an opportunity for action. So, for example, we created the first reverse mentorship toolkit that can be used within the security sector, but really by any industry. And the idea is to sort of flip the traditional mentorship model where you have junior people sort of mentoring up senior people. And we do that as a way to capture the sort of informal knowledge transfer that occurs among professionals in an intergenerational workforce. It's a really popular toolkit that we've had a lot of really positive feedback on. And then we're working on a second tool, which is designed to capture knowledge, primarily from senior security leaders that can help shape new decision-making models for early entry career people.
Well, help me understand the intergenerational thing where you have, mid-level folks informing folks who may be higher up. What are the sorts of knowledge that they're looking to transfer there?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, some of it, honestly, Dave, is just the technical knowledge that digital native generations bring into the workforce. Obviously using AI within the workplace is becoming increasingly popular. So there is that technical exchange of having younger people mentor up senior people on how to use those technologies. Also, younger people's educational experiences are different, perhaps more robust in certain sectors, certainly within cybersecurity, where they have a lot more training available, a lot more sort of formalized training, personalized training than other generations have had. So there's that sort of knowledge transfer that can occur as well between younger people in the workplace mentoring up, where they're actively sharing lessons around leadership, project management, communications that senior leaders just didn't have access to or don't have the bandwidth to continuously sort of upskill themselves in. And it's a efficient way of sort of building an ecosystem of mentorship and learning.
Well, can you give us a little status report here. I mean, these are challenging times for an organization such as yours, I would imagine. How's it going?
I would say one of the benefits that we've really never taken for granted at Girl Security is that the demands for our programming have always been high. We have consistently held a wait list over the last 6 years. In theory, we would love to be an organization that says, like, we're going to reach X number of girls by X year, but that's just not our model. We're really focused on supporting targeted communities of girls and young women and gender minority youth and showing through impact that we're securing pathways, opportunities for them. And so the demand has always been high. The capacity is, we always want to be bigger. We always want to be able to do more. And I think given the current moment, we're just seeing a further influx in interest and demand for the programs. So I think from a nonprofit perspective, our challenge, which is not necessarily new, is how do we leverage systems and the communities of people we serve to design for certain efficiencies we may need to support as many people as we can.
And what is the on-ramp like for the young women who are looking to take advantage of the program? First of all, what age are you looking for?
Yeah, absolutely. So our workforce training program starts as early as 16, 17 years old. We have two tracks. We have high school-based after-school national security clinics. And we have a virtual access option. And that is a very robust 15-week workforce training program led by a diverse cohort of women and men in national security that touches on things like structured analytics, economics and budgeting and finance, with a balance of professional development skills around communications, networking, job searching, as well as, basic things like building a LinkedIn profile and resume. So that program supports about 300 fellows every year, and that's primarily targeted with high school. We do have a small percentage of college students as well. And then our mentoring program is sort of what I describe as an overlay. It should catch as many people as we can because it's our flagship program and it's a low like low operational output, high impact. And we're supporting about 1,000 mentoring relationships every year. And that's ages 14 through 26. And those programs sort of work in concert with each other because we want to see participants come into the workforce training program and complete it. And then they can stay in the mentoring program until they're well into their career. And then if the model works as it has, they then pay back to the organization. So it becomes this really dynamic, diffusive network of girls and women in security.
Mm. And how do you measure success?
Oh, through all sorts of different tools and tricks that we've created. We do a lot of surveying and analysis across all of our programs. We're surveying people constantly. We're always evaluating just the programs themselves through, for the workforce program, skills and core competencies, measuring levels of proficiency before and after, getting dynamic feedback from employers and other partners who end up supporting participants in our program, retention and re-engagement rates, which are very high. We just had our annual survey, and both our satisfaction, referral, retention, re-engagement is all above 90%. Actually probably closer to 97%. And then in terms of placement into pathways for both programs, we're at about 87%. So that means that someone who's gone through our program has secured an opportunity in the security space. I mean, we'd always love to get that up into the 90s as well, but we're happy with those numbers.
Yeah, so it's a passing grade, right?
Yes, I guess so. I don't know. My son tells me all kinds of things about grade scoring now, and I feel like I'm in the dark on purpose.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. In terms of the mentors themselves, I mean, what's an ideal candidate for someone who wants to give back here?
Oh, I love that question because our mentors represent all ages. And in fact, we usually try to pair the youngest mentees with a younger mentor just because their experiences in education and culture will just be closer. They'll identify more closely together. But our mentors are across the public and private sectors, academia, national labs, STEM, civil society. We're really just looking for people who have an understanding of what the security sector looks like, believes in the power of engaging young people in the sector and the promise of their contributions, and really someone who's a great listener, because I feel like mentorship is oftentimes less about talking and more about listening and trying to give really targeted responses to questions that young people encounter on a regular basis. So we just have such a fantastic mentoring community, and we're very fortunate.
Well, before I let you go, forgive me for perhaps putting you on the spot here, but is there a particular story that you'd like to share, a success story about a young woman who came through the program and has seen some success?
Yeah, I'd love to. There's one young woman from one of our Chicago clinics, a young woman by the name of Araya, who overcame a lot of obstacles and showed up at one of our summer fellowships. So our summer fellowships are sort of a multi-day sort of awareness raising before the full-on intensive workforce fellowship program. And Araya came one summer, and then she came the next summer. And then she ended up enrolling in our workforce training program and completed that 15-week program. And then she decided to specialize in cybersecurity and received a scholarship to the University of Chicago, where she is currently studying cybersecurity and is engaged in the program still. She helped us design and implement the first White House global convening of girls and women in cyber. She stays involved in the mentoring program as an alumni and is just off doing remarkable things. So she's a more recent but really powerful success story.
Well, Lauren, best wishes for all of your efforts here. My personal take is that the things that you're doing here are needed more than ever, and I really appreciate you taking the time for us here today.
Thank you for having me and creating the space for this. I appreciate it.
That's Lauren Buitta, founder and CEO at Girl Security. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like, right now. We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But get this, more than 8,000 companies like Atlassian and Quora have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Here's the gist. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across 30 frameworks, like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and helps you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get $1,000 off Vanta when you go to vanta.com/cyber. That's vanta.com/cyber for $1,000 off. And finally, imagine if the key to your front door was published in the installation manual, and no one bothered to change it. That's basically what's happening with Hirsch's Enterphone Mesh Door Access System. A security researcher, Eric Daigle, discovered that dozens of buildings across the U.S. and Canada are still using the default unchangeable by design password. And yes, it's right there in the manual for anyone to find. Hirsch's response? That's not a bug, it's a feature. The company insists that customers should have read the instructions and changed the password themselves. Many didn't. As a result, elevators, office doors, and even entire residential buildings are just a login away from unauthorized access. The flaw now officially has a CVE number, and it's a perfect 10 on the oh no scale, but Hirsch says they're not going to fix it. Instead, they emailed customers a polite reminder to read the manual. RTFM, my friends. RTFM. And that's the Cyberwire. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing world of cybersecurity. If you like our show, please share a rating and review in your favorite podcast app. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to cyberwire@n2k.com. N2K's senior producer is Alice Carruth. Our Cyberwire producer is Liz Stokes. We're mixed by Trey Hester with original music and sound design by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow. And now, a message from BlackCloak. Did you know the easiest way for cyber criminals to bypass your company's defenses is by targeting your executives and their families at home? BlackCloak's award-winning digital executive protection platform secures their personal devices, home networks, and connected lives. Because when executives are compromised at home, your company is at risk. In fact, over 1/3 of new members discover they've already been breached. Protect your executives and their families 24/7, 365 with BlackCloak. Learn more at blackcloak.io.